We know that when we multiply whole numbers, the factors determine the size of the product. Greater factors produce larger products, and smaller factors produce smaller products. I wonder what happens to the product when the factors are decimal numbers. Gwen cycles 3.3 miles each day for 5 days. Multiplying with decimals can be tricky, so it's always a good idea to estimate first. 3 3/10 is located between the whole numbers 3 and 4. It is closer to 3 than it is to 4, so let's round it to 3. 5 times 3 is 15. However, 3 3/10 is a little bigger than 3, so our product should be a little more than 15. 3 3/10 is also less than 4, so our product should be less than 5 times 4, or 20. Looking back at the number line, we can see that 3 3/10 is much closer to 3. So our product should be closer to 15 than 20. Gwen must cycle more than 15 miles in 5 days, but less than 20. 3 3/10 can be decomposed into 3 3/10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 3/10 is 15/10, or 1 5/10. 15 miles plus 1 5/10 is 16 5/10 of a mile. Let's think back to our estimation of the product being greater than 15 and less than 20. Let's check if this answer is reasonable when compared to our estimation. Our estimation was that Gwen cycled between 15 and 20 miles a day in 5 days, with the actual product being closer to 15 than 20. Therefore, 16.5 miles is a reasonable answer. Gwen got it right. Oliver's answer was too big. At the beginning of the lesson, we asked what would happen if our factors were decimal numbers. Here we have factors of 3/10, a decimal number, and 5. 5 groups of 3/10 is 15/10. 10/10 can be composed into one whole, and we still have 5/10 to go. So 5 groups of 3/10 is 1 5/10. We can see that when one of the factors is a decimal number that is smaller than 1, the product of the two factors is smaller than the whole number factor. Another way we can think about multiplying with decimals is by changing them into whole numbers, by multiplying the decimal factor by powers of 10. We have proven earlier in the lesson that 5 times 3 3/10 is 16 5/10. If we multiply our decimal factor by 10, our factor is now the whole number 33. We have made one of our factors, our decimal factors, 10 times bigger. Now, when we multiply our new factor 33 by 5, our product is 10 times bigger. Our next step is to divide that product by 10. We are compensating for multiplying by 10 by undoing the multiplication with division. Let's check back with our estimation. 16 5/10 is between 15 and 20, and it is closer to 15 than it is to 20. So how did Oliver arrive at 30 miles for his answer? Oliver asked his teacher, Miss Romero, why his answer was wrong. Miss Romero told Oliver that it was a great strategy to use an array, but instead of decomposing 3 3/10 into a whole number and a decimal, Oliver had treated the 3/10 as a whole number. She reminded them that the digits to the right of the decimal point are greater than 0 but less than 1. The second 3 in the number is 3/10. Factors determine the size of a product in decimal multiplication just as they do with whole numbers. The smaller the value of the factor, the smaller the value of the product. Products are affected by the size of decimal factors in the same way that products are affected by the size of whole number factors.